How's it going, y'all? Back here, a new damn video. Eagles versus Falcons. Divisional round of the playoffs. Now look, you guys see my reaction video to once Atlanta finally beat the Rams. You guys seen what I said. Some of you Falcons fans, of course, you guys over-exaggerated. How could you act like our team is this sorry? How could you say this about my team? You're going to see. You can't wait. Oh my God. Careful what you wish for. Dude, the video was not my preview. This is my preview of the game. All that video was me saying it's official. It will be Eagles versus Falcons, and it's our best possible matchup. And even as a Falcons fan, I know you guys are probably thinking this is your best possible matchup yourselves because you're versus Nick Foles at quarterback. But even yourselves got to say, damn, the kid has a point. I have a point because you guys are a good team. But I'm saying it's our best possible matchup to maybe win a game in the playoffs. The Vikings are way tough. Too tough. Defense too tough. Saints, once they get going on our defense, we can't come back with Nick Foles. That's why I said Falcons is the best possible matchup for us, all right? Now, look, it's going to be a tough game. I went back and rewatched the game against the Rams and the Falcons. I'll tell you what, the Rams are an inexperienced team. You know, they're a young team. The coach is, 31 years old. The quarterback's second year in the league. They looked young. They looked like they hadn't been there before. And it showed, especially with the 2 turnovers on special teams. I mean, all year long, the Rams had like the best special teams in the NFL. And they played terrible. I mean, 2 fumbles by a guy named Cooper. Was it Pharaoh Cooper? Terrible. But the Falcons are a really solid team. You know, I'll tell you what. The Falcons, when I went back and watched it, I'll tell you what, man, their defense, they fly around. They got a fast defense. I mean, they're flying all over the place. And I remember watching that in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Now, don't get me wrong, they versed the older Tom Brady, you know, who's just going to stand in the pocket, you know what I mean? And the team just looked sluggish till they came back and won it, you know, and that historical comeback happened. But their defense is just flying all over the place, man. They have one hell of a defense. That's what I think, personally. Defense is young, energetic, and they got a lot of speed, like I said, a lot of speed on that defense. Now, look. I look at Matt Ryan, all right? He's 1-3 in Philadelphia. 1-3 as a quarterback in Philadelphia. I think he has I think I read that he had I think he had like 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in Philadelphia. Some number like that. I can't remember. He's been sacked 9 times out of 3 games playing us in Philly. So we got to generate pressure on him quick and early. We got to get after Matt Ryan. It's that simple. And there's one thing that a lot of Eagles fans have not been looking at this season with the Falcons. One thing they have not paid attention to. Matt Ryan has been scrambling. Not scrambling like Carson Wentz or scrambling like Cam Newton or scrambling like Russell Wilson. But he's been navigating the pocket. His scrambling ability has been overlooked a lot. He's been scrambling for first downs. I went back and watched some of the games. I'm like, wow, picked that up right there. I think it was 4th down and 9 versus the Patriots. He picked it up. He picked it up. Scrambling it, you know, Matt Ryan is using a little bit of mobility now, just a little bit. So we got to watch out for that. Our defense has always struggled against mobility when it comes to quarterbacks, but he's not the most mobile, let's put it that way. I go back to 2016, the year they went to the Super Bowl. We beat them, less talent. You know, Leotis McKelvin at corner, him and Nolan Carroll. And we won. That's what I look at. I go, wow, we had way less talent on defense, and our defense our defense held them to the lowest points scored, the lowest points they have scored all season that year, and they were the highest scoring offense in the NFL. And Matt Ryan was MVP. We held him to the lowest. I think Matt Ryan had 1 or 2 interceptions. We sacked him a couple times. That's the game plan we need to go with, okay? Especially after the last 3 games that we have played, besides the Cowboys game. Let's talk about Oakland. Let's talk about the Giants. The Giants put out a formula on us and our corners on how to beat us. And then Oakland somewhat used that game plan, but then shied away from it in the second half, which I don't understand. But okay, these are things to beat us. Quick throws, slants. Our corners are not good enough, right? our defense, the Eagles defense, we rely on pass rush in our front four, right? And when you rely on a pass rush in a defense, all you do is you do quick throws like slants, and the corners are not good enough to hold up on those quick throws, okay? The Giants did that in that game. They also did the double move. I remember, I think his name was something King off the Giants, who did a double move on Jalen Mills and had him all the way turned across the field. There was no safety help over here. Bang, touchdown. What does the Raiders do when we face them? Quick pass, quick pass, quick pass. Then they hit us with a double move, Maury Cooper touchdown right down the field. Then finally in the second half, our defense started shutting stuff down. But that double move is what we need to watch out for. That double move and that quick passing game. Because I'll tell you right now, if Oakland was doing that to us and the Giants, the Atlanta Falcons have Julio freaking Jones. I know he's been down. He's had a down year. Okay, he hasn't really been good this year at all. But he did have 94 yards and a touchdown in that playoff game, which is big. Okay, he hits that double move, it's over. Okay, Jalen Mills had a solid game versus him last time we faced him. Even though I know Julio Jones had 120 something yards, but he didn't look that effective in that game versus us last year. I know Jalen Mills was covering him a lot of times in that game. I understand that, but if he hits that double move, watch out, okay? Even Sanu, if he hits a double move on Jalen Mills. What we need to do on defense, of course, when you bring pressure on Matt Ryan, like I said, we can possibly shut down the run game. We need to we need to shut down the run game. They ran the ball 39 times last week, okay? We need to stop the run, make them pass, and when you do, I mean, don't give Matt Ryan all day. You give Matt Ryan all day, Julio's going to pick us apart, okay? So let's get after Matt Ryan and get after him quick and early, okay? I know a lot of people are going to say, well, gee, that sounds ridiculous. Look, this Eagles defense needs to step it up. I look at it, we have 9 sacks in the last 6 games. A league low. Okay? League low. That needs to step up. We need to get after Matt Ryan, like I said, and it needs to be early. This is my game plan. I want you to blitz him. I know that everyone's going to say, well, this is crazy, but play aggressive. Play with no fear. You have nothing to lose in this game. You know your quarterback isn't as good. You want to go balls to the freaking walls, okay? I want you to blitz Matt Ryan, all right? Now on offense for us. Also, before I get to the offensive side of the ball, let's look at the Rams. When the Falcons did versus the Rams, the first couple possessions that the Falcons did have were field goals. Field goal, field goal, field goal, and then a touchdown, and then a touchdown, and then a field goal, I think. All I remember is they got 2 field goals, and I think they were off the fumbles that they got. So it was like, wow, they got perfect field position, 2 turnovers by the Rams, and they only turned them into field goals. If we can hold them to field goals, which is hard, which is really hard, okay? But if you can somehow hold them to field goals, and we can somehow put some points on the board, this can be an interesting game. Now, for our offense, keep the ball out of Nick Foles' hands, okay? But first, before I say that, because you can't just keep it out of his hands, he's the quarterback. He touches the ball more than any offensive player on the team. Let's put it this way. If you want to play aggressive, this is what I say. Take a couple deep shots early. Now, look, I'm not saying install a couple, short passes, but put a deep shot in there with Torrey Smith. If you guys have realized this whole season, I went back and watched a lot of the games. Torrey Smith might suck and can't catch footballs, but, man, he draws a lot of flags. He can get pass interference calls all the time. Hell, we should start the game off, have 2 checkdowns right there, and have him going deep. If you see a pass interference, just throw it deep, Foles. Get a pass interference. I set this up already halfway at the field, and then we start running the ball. We get a touchdown, or at least a field goal. You know what I'm saying? Be aggressive. I want to see some deep shots. Not too many, because Foles needs to get confident. We know this kid has no confidence. He's playing terrible. It's a big issue, okay? I'm even hearing about Nate Sudfeld coming in the game, which is whatever. But we need to pound the ball. I look at all the winners of the I almost said AFC. I'm talking about the whole NFL wildcard. All NFL wildcard playoffs. All the winners rushed the ball, had 100+ rushing yards, had this many rushes, had this and that. We need to pound the ball. And I look at who had one of their biggest games of this year on that Falcons defense. Who did? Jay Ajayi. I think he had 130 yards rushing. He led Miami to a comeback. Miami, they were decent. They had Jay Cutler. They were down a couple scores. Jay Cutler was throwing the ball, looking all right. But Jay Ajayi had that one big game. That was his biggest game this year, and it was against the Falcons defense. We need to pounce through the defense with the run game. I want Jay Ajayi available. I want Blunt running it. Foles, this is what I say. As I said, do the deep stuff if you can get some pass interference calls, because this is how you're going to win the game. You're going to have to do stuff like that. It's not going to be a game where you can come out and just be like, yo, what's up? We're going to pass the ball. What are you going to do about it? No, you're going to have to get PIs. You're going to have to do certain stuff to set us up in certain positions to win the game. We're not going to be able to just win it. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, they got to get Foles in a rhythm. I'm not saying, sorry, I'm not, my phone. I'm not saying come out and just pass. No, I want you to run the ball. Then do a play action, bang, hit him like that. Do a play action, bang, hit him like that. Throw some screens. Get this guy confident, because he's not confident whatsoever, Nick Foles. He's not. And you know he's not a good quarterback. I mean, you know he's not really that great of a quarterback. Just throw short passes. Get stuff out of his hands quickly. Don't make him have to do three-step drops, because he can't do three-step drops and throw, because he's that bad. He needs to just get it out quickly. Screen, bubble screen, wide receiver screen. That's the only way you're going to get him confident. Then finally, maybe he can step into his throws, step into the pocket instead of backpedaling like a bitch. He can maybe step forward and make a nice accurate throw down the field, and that's what I want to see. Now, I said this is the most winnablest game for us. Not saying we're going to win it. It's going to be a tough game. The Falcons now are starting to catch heat. They're starting to catch fire, like I said. But this is probably our best chance of winning a playoff game. I'd rather face this team than the Rams, which I know we beat them, but that was with Carson Wentz. I'd rather face this team than the Rams, who lost to the Falcons. I get that. But I'd rather face these guys than, say, the Saints, Minnesota, blah, 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 which we have to face one of them if we beat the Falcons. I get that. I get it. But this is our best possible opponent. Dome team, come to Philly, have to play us. We have the bye week, 2 weeks, layoff, bye week. Let's see what happens, guys. Let's just have fun, you know. I'm not picking us to win. I'm not picking us to lose. I think it's going to be a close game, and it should be a close game. Now, if the Atlanta Falcons offense shows up and just starts balling out, we're in deep shit. But it was a good season. That's all I got to say. And we'll see what happens on Saturday night. May the best team win, and go Birds, baby.